Truth or Dare, oh my god, if you want a comedy, this is great. Unfortunately, Truth or Dare is supposed to be played as a straight horror movie. Right. For those, by the way, that clicked on it without seeing, this will contain spoilers. Just want to say that right off the bat. This will contain spoilers. It has Lucy Hale in it, Pretty Little Liars, Tyler Posey of Teen Wolf, the MTV version. Obviously, it'd be hard to have anybody from the movie version in there, considering this is supposed to be about 20-somethings, and those movies came out in the 80s. And it also has Violet with two T's, by the way, plays best friend Marky. She was in The Flash. I really am not too familiar with the rest of this cast, but let me just say this much. It's very, very stock, and there's going to be spoilers, by the way. Spoilers for anybody that honestly cares. Do you enjoy movies where it's just standard, cookie-cutter characters that have one thing they don't want to give away and one thing they don't want to do? Or one thing, it's like, oh, I can't do that, I can't tell the truth, or I can't do that, or please don't ask me to do that, please don't ask me to do that, even though the movie's Truth or Dare. Yeah, you're going to love this movie. You're going to love this in the sense where if you have a girlfriend, you have a boyfriend, or however you get down, if you get, however you swing, if you got a significant other, take them to see this movie. You may enjoy it as a fun make-out movie and fun something to just basically sit around and laugh at it. Because that's what this is. It's a goddamn comedy. Now, it is one of the worst horror movies I've seen in a while. If it had not been for one other horror movie this year, The Strangers Prey at Night, this would actually be the worst horror movie of the year. This is like this year's Bye Bye Man, which Bye Bye Man I try to be generous on. I really did try because the cast did try, and I love the girl that played the psychic, Jenna, I forgot her last name, but beautiful girl. She did fine, and everybody did the best they could. In this, you got an opening where you got a girl that goes into a Mexican gas station, gets told Truth or Dare, picks Dare, sets a woman on fire, and there's your credits. And then you got, these opening credits with Lucy Hale's character Olivia and her best friend Marky, which, as the movie goes on, you kind of wonder how the hell they ever became best friends when they had such a fractured relationship in the beginning. It was so ridiculous. This was just silly. It was just a silly movie from the very beginning. They go to, instead of building houses for Habitat of Humanity, her best friend unsigns her, says she has shingles. Haha, shingles. Do you get it? That's about the best that you can get as far as humor in this, which is a shame. Because it's a dark comedy, it actually would have been just perfect. In fact, actually, I think remaking this as a dark comedy or intending this to be a dark comedy could have made this a whole lot better. Also, being PG-13 doesn't help. This is very much Wish Upon. This is very much Bye Bye Man, which are both PG-13. Very much Final Destination. Everybody goes and parties at, goes and parties in Mexico. They meet a discount Daniel Radcliffe guy, along with another guy from their school. That's the kind of the troll jokester type guy that doesn't live very long, so don't worry. He's the idiot that slips on the damn pool table, on the 8-ball, the magic 8-ball, never forget, and, cracks his neck on the other pool table. And by the way, enjoy the nice smiling effects that were taken straight from the, straight, these kind, Truth or Dare, that were taken from the Soundgarden music video. Black Hole Sun. That's basically what they were. The problem is, they worked back then, and they also worked in Men in Black when Vincent D'Onofrio's character did it. But the problem is the Black Hole Sun video came out in the early 90s. Men in Black came out in 1997. This is 2018. Those are the best special effects you could do. Now, it is a very cheap movie, obviously. But you have from the very beginning, the whole thing of the lady getting killed in the gas station, and then the guy cracking his neck in a hilarious way on the pool table, and that kind of stuff. You have the gay son that comes out to his dad, who's a major homophobe. That's a story they probably could have touched on a little bit better, and that actually might have lended a little bit better stuff to the movie. Only because that seemed like the only one of anything where they had anywhere to go with it. And you don't even get to see him admit the truth to his dad. I guess apparently his dad took it in stride, even though, I don't know, we didn't get to see it. But whatever. They touch on that a little bit later, but we don't get to see that right away. We also don't get to see half the truths or half the dares on screen. They all happen off screen, you get confronted after they come back from Mexico, which, by the way, while they're in Mexico, the discount Daniel Radcliffe guy says, I gathered you all here basically because I need you all to die so I can live. It's like, thank you for coming to my Truth or Dare symposium. Thank you all for coming here. Yeah, and then everybody, it's a weird old mausoleum or weird old castle or something like that. That's just apparently right out there, a couple miles outside of whatever city they were in. I'm not familiar with Mexican geography, so I don't know exactly where this location was. And I didn't bother to look up the location because I can't be bothered to really care. For those who have visited Mexico, if you've been to that castle or if that castle even exists, let me know in the comments. So once they come back from Mexico, strange shit starts happening. Olivia's character gets besieged by all these people saying, truth or dare, truth or dare, truth or dare. Best facial expressions, by the way. And then, she admits that her best friend's been cheating on her boyfriend. And then the best friend says, if you touch me again, I'll break your hand. Touch me and I'll break your hand. That comes back to play later if you've seen the trailer. If you've seen the trailer, you've pretty much seen all the damn scares. It's like, you don't want to break these hands. Steamed hams. No, not going to do that. Or Braun Strowman, you're going to get these hands. Wrestling dig, by the way, for those that are into wrestling. I know most of you that watch my channel are into wrestling, but for those of you who aren't, it's a wrestling thing. But all this violence happens on screen because of off screen because of the PG-13 rating. Like, there's implied that she hits a hand, like you sort of see it, but you sort of don't. And then, oh God, I don't know. I guess she's not such. I guess she can't do pretty little things with her pretty little liar things with her hand. I don't know what I'm saying honestly anymore. It was a mess of a movie. Stupid deaths. I mean, the son gets shot later. He basically dared, and he's daring to make his dad, for being a homophobe, beg him for his life, I guess. And then the son gets shot. There's one girl at one point earlier, Sophie Alley, I think. I don't know. She was the other girl, the tan one that stared in her reflection. I can't really be bothered to take a look at her name. Nobody's performance has offended me in this movie, but the whole thing about her is she gets dared and she's got to walk along the edge of the house, on the roof of the house, while drinking. If you finish this bottle, and alcohol seems to be fueling the damn movie. It must have fueled the 4 screenplay writers. Yes, this movie had 4 screenplay writers. Some of the best movies only had 2. Some of the best movies only had 1. And people that contributed on it, and I'm like, really? 4 screenwriters? 4 screenplay writers? I mean, I don't know any of these guys. The story is written by one person, the screenplay got written by 4, and given how many directions this thing tried to go, I'm not too surprised. But the girl's wandering around, I gotta finish the dare, and I gotta finish the alcohol. I gotta finish the glug, 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 glug alcohol. I gotta, the bottle wasn't that long. That would have been kind of comical, actually. But they did this fake out thing with the mattress falling on this fence and tearing through these spikes. And then they run, at one point, Lucy Hale's character runs the gate down and knocks the girl off the house. The second time she runs into the gate, and then they put the mattress on there and they catch the girl on there, and such a fake out. And then she gets shot in almost the very next scene. So great job saving your friend there. It reminded me of Wish Upon in the sense that you kind of have the whole thing where this girl does this one thing and everything spirals out of control. The problem is, at least in that movie, Shannon Purser's character and Joey King's character had a bit of a camaraderie as far as friends. With Lucy Hale's character and Violet Bean's character, you don't get that sense. You get the sense that actually these girls pretty much don't like each other. Or at least it seems to be that case. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way they played their characters. I mean, it was a very stock movie. It was a very stock movie. There's one doctor. There's always people, like, where there's these Final Destination movies, or any of these movies, especially Final Destination, there's always one guy that's a doubter. 1 or 2 guys that's a doubter. And this guy that wants to be a doctor goes in for an interview. And then because he wouldn't do the truth or wouldn't do the dare, I think it was the truth, he's the one that stabs himself in the eye with the pen and then pushes it against the door. And then the pool of blood goes underneath the thing. You don't get to see the death on screen. Have I mentioned how this is PG-13? It kind of ruins the goddamn movie. Might have mentioned that once or twice. Truth Upon a Dare is actually what this should have been called. Or Truth Orange versus Dare to Keep Kids Off Drugs. That actually would have been better. Have just various, have a war, like a 50 minutes each of like these, infomercials and personal ads of just being thrown at you, and you decide which one is the best. Which drug-free promotion reigns supreme at the end. Or R-Truth versus versus, you know, a Dare Bear. I don't know. The Care Bears. Care Bears War might have been fun. In this, no, it actually wouldn't have been that good. Though there were exploding bears in the Purge, the first Purge trailer that I saw just before this. I mean, God, it's like you watch this, they finally find the reason as to why the Truth or Dare game keeps happening. It's like you got to do two truths in a dare. You can't, so basically after you do two truths, you have to choose dare. You can't just keep choosing truth, which sounds like a made up rule that this other group, before they brought in Olivia's friends into the group, and, you know, as a bigger group, they just made up. This movie makes a lot of things up as it goes along, and it turns out they find out this info about this one lone survivor of this massacre where this demon was summoned to take care of this priest that would play a hide and seek and assault is essentially what it was. It was with young girls that were trying to be nuns. That much I'll say right there. But the demon gets summoned and takes care of the priest, but then keeps playing with the girls, and the only way to get rid of it is for the person that summoned the demon to cut out their own tongue, place it in a jar of wax, and say this. We'll say this prayer like 7 times first. Cut out your tongue, place it in the jar, and then it traps the demon. I guess it's stupid. Really stupid. Again, played as a comedy, this probably actually would have been one of the best things ever. And I mean, I laughed a lot at it. I shouldn't have, because it was meant to be a straight up horror movie. But you get to where everybody gets whittled down. All these characters get whittled down. And you got 3 left. And the main 3 actors that I've been basically talking about. Oh, I won't do the dare. I won't kill somebody. And then the demon possesses him. And they managed to find the guy. It was the discount Daniel Radcliffe guy that they talked to before that broke the jar that previously had the demon in it. If he hadn't broken the jar, then it wouldn't have mattered. So good job, discount Daniel Radcliffe. And again, I'm not knocking the actor. That's just what he reminded me of. He could be a nice guy. But he doesn't quite get to cut out his tongue, so all but 2 people die. It's Olivia and Marky. And yeah, I mean, I'm just going to spoil the whole thing at the end, which I said spoilers, which by the way, if you're watching by now, you should know about it. It's like everybody, it's like, the heck, I mean, you know, it's like everybody, and this is after the cops, they've gone to the cops multiple times and everything, and the cops really didn't believe him, which who's going to believe this tall tale? Olivia and Marky basically make this video. The idea is you get a big group of people together. It's kind of like It Follows, you know, you let it spread out. You give it to somebody else, and as long as they don't die, it won't come for you. Well, you make a bigger video, it's kind of like the whole thing with The Ring, or Rings, or any of the movies that they made, or The Grudge. It's a whole bunch of horror cliches. Makes a YouTube video, puts it on her YouTube page for her 4,500 subscribers, and plays a version of Truth or Dare. Guys, I am so sorry, but you gotta play this game. You do the dare, or you die. You tell the truth, or you die. You do this or you die. You refuse or you die. You fall asleep and you die. I mean, I don't know. Wait, that's Nightmare on Elm Street. It was bad. This was just so bad. I mean, they put this video out. I think it's implying a sequel. Like, God, I hope not. It's going to be a direct-to-DVD sequel or direct-to-Netflix sequel. If they do one, it will be Truth or Dare 2, Not the Electric Boogaloo. I mean, it's going to get a D for horror because it didn't have anything scary. But at the same time, it didn't offend me. Strangers Prey at Night offended me. So anyway, that's what I gotta say. As a comedy, it was almost a B. Because it was just hilarious. But it was fucking stupid. It's like, you can't help but laugh at any of the deaths. You're not going to care about any of the characters. Anyway, that's what I gotta say. Do you agree? Do you disagree with what I said? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Twitter link in the description. It's been Real Honesty with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin. I will see you soon.